The consortium announced that 29 April 2023, along the Warhammer week, the new setbooks for the 10th edition that's going to be released this summer, and so we go to see about the content inside and try to estimate the worth of such setbooks. And I can anticipate that this is about Space Marines with Tyrant, even if it was clear that it was like this because the previous revelation. Eventually in the description you can find the previous blog if you're interested about. And then we can find here the content set as miniature, but we'll see them better in detail, and the box itself that it's really quite nice and really quite big. So we can go to see, and we can find so the contents. There is obviously the video related about the unboxing, so the things that are inside and the presentation of the setbook itself. I want to remind you that in the description you can find the link about such Warhammer articles so that you can have the referral eventually. And then we can find the included ones, so the setbooks and all the miniatures. So we have a total of 25 miniatures Space Marines and 47 miniatures of Tyrannid ones. So this is really quite interesting. Then we have also the exclusive Leviathan rulebook, so the special version that sincerely I would like to have, because I had the previous one, the Indomitus one, and it was quite interesting to read and to have as collecting. We have also the chapter-proof Leviathan mission deck, because there is also the things that are improved, and also the Space Marines transfer sheet, but this it's not something that I'm really quite interested about. So we can find the new captain in Terminator armor that I think that it's really quite interesting, quite basic as thing, because the thing about the Trinity in that way and so on is something that it's quite easy to personalize, so it's not something so special, but still it's nice to have such a miniature because it has the captain in the new Primaris Terminator armor. Technically the Terminator armors are all the same, but they improved the scale, so it's quite good. So if you think about giving this a value of 25 euros, technically it should cost more, okay, but I try to keep the value less so that we can see how much anyway it will be the amount. Then we have the Library Interminator armor. Also this one we go to give it a 25 euros as worth. Sincerely, this armor is really amazing as detailing. Okay, the painting it improves quite a lot, the perceiving. Still, it's something that it's really amazing, even if I think that I'll try maybe to convert the head so that it has a normal head of the Terminators and not the one with the face, but anyway, it's an amazing one. Then had the Apothecary Biologist, also this one I make 25 euros. This it's interesting because it's with the Gravis armor, and I quite like a lot. I like the details and so on. This is really an amazing model, and I love the Apothecary usually, so it's something that I really look at. Then we had the Lieutenant in Phobos armor. Sincerely, I don't have any one of the Lieutenant in Phobos armor, so I'm quite interested about this. Also this I make 25 euros. And I like the things that are the drop of venom on or blood of Tyrannid ones on the knife. It's really quite nice. I like such a lot. Then we had the standard veteran guards that these I make them value a sort of 35 euros. These are quite interesting because are in Primaris armor. So it's really quite interesting this because they are the renewal of the standards. It's something that it was to welcome, so it's nice that's been done, and it's a quite classical one anyway, but I quite like them. They had the Terminator Squad that are the new upgraded standard as size. Also this one I make 40 euros as the old ones, so I think that it's quite interesting. And sincerely I prefer still the Terminators of Space Hulk for the Blood Angel. Still these are included, and because I don't want to buy the new Primaris version, I call them Primaris even if they are Terminators for all the Fistborn and the new ones. Anyway, these ones I think that it's good because I didn't want to buy them and I'll have them, so quite nice. And I really like that one that is the marker for the teleport, so nice. They had the Infernus Squad, 10 models. Also these ones make them cost 35 euros. Okay, I know that it will cost more, but it's quite nice, and it specializes with the thermal weapons. So it's something that I don't have as models. They are quite usually because they are technically normal intercessors with the weapons, so nice. Then had the Ballistus Dreadnought, that it's the dreadnought of the premise with the shooting weapons only. Also this I make 30 euros, but only because I want to give it the lowest price possible, and I think that it's an easy to build, like I think that all the models will be. And if you go to compare this, combine everything, really taking them cheaper than I can, it will be an amount of 240 euros about. So I think that it's really quite a lot, and it's only about the part about the Space Marines. Then we can go to see also about the part about the T-Knights. Had the Winged Tyrant Primed. This one, I think that 40 euros, even if it's more, I think that I'll recover with the ones that I made quite less later. Anyway, this it's a beautiful model. I really love such model. It's really amazing. I like that the scheme of color is about Leviathan as the call about the box itself, the edition, because it's something that I like. I love the Leviathan, and so I'm also going to release also the previous campaign later about the Shield Bad that it was involving Leviathan, so it's quite nice. We had the Narrow Tyrant. This it's a new model, so it's nice because it's something completely new. So this I made 30 euros, but this is something that it's prone to every type of modifier and so on that you want, because it's an amazing character, really. It has quite a lot of charm. Then we had the Scream Killer. This technically it's not something new as a model, because we've seen in the past something similar, but it's made in a really amazing way. I don't change the base because it's with those rocks not so great, but I love such model. Also this one I make them 30 euros. I'm really taking this lower than I can as prices. Then we had the Von Ryan Sleepers. Also these ones I'll make 30 euros. And this can be quite interesting, and something also this one that we've seen in some way, but renewed, and I quite like. They had the Termagants that we have, so 20 models about. And this could be really quite interesting if you think, because there is also the Swarm that is available. And this also 30 euros, it's I think quite useful. They had the Neur Guns, and so we have here 10 models plus one that I can't understand completely what it is. I think that it's a special version or something particular, maybe a link synaptic or some way. So also this will make 30 euros. They had the Barb Counts. Also these ones are completely new models. Also these ones I make 30 euros for 5 models. And I really quite like the designs, sincerely. They are really nice. Had then the Psychophage, that it's a monstrous creature. It's gigantic. It's really great. And this I made 40 euros just to make that it's really quite intriguing. So that I made, combine all the T9 version, a sort of 240 euros about, 260. So combined with the other part that we see about Space Marine, even if I made cheaper than I can, it's about 500 euros about of contents of only miniatures. So if you are interested about even a simple one of the faction, I think that it's really quite worth, because I think that it will be cheaper than this. I don't think that the set box will cost more than 200 euros. So one faction for sure it's free, and I hate to admit, but had to admit that I have other T9 models, and so I can create an army complete one of T9 combining everything that I have. So okay, maybe I start to collect really a Leviathan army of T9s. Then had something more that it's the rulebook that I think that you can value 40 euros without any problems. The cards that other 20 euros it can be useful. So here we have a total of 560, 600 euros about of contents. And so if I hope that it will cost about 180 euros, so you can find this at the end for 150 euros. It's really a really great thing. So I hope that GW will not have problems as in the past about having the possibility for all the ones that are interested to gain a copy, at least one. So I try to buy such one because I'm really quite interested. I'm quite curious about this new edition. I've seen a lot of things about, but I'll not try to talk about the rules about that are presented and so on, because there are quite a lot of things to say, but at the same time I want to read everything to understand if it's worth or not. And from simply some things, I have some things that I quite like, others that I don't like too much, but I want to see the all things before say my opinion about the new edition. Still about the miniatures, they are amazing. So I think that this it's worth even only for the miniatures themselves, because they are really quite nice. Here we can see some of the contents inside the book, so it's nice. We have also a book about the Black Rabbit that is about the Leviathan, and it's nice because anyway it's something that if you're interested about, it's a way of background, so perfectly once. There are things I read something about, since I like as author, so I suggest you eventually, if you're interested about the Black Rabbit books, to give a try, because it's nice anyway. And then we can find the roadmap. So we had that this summer, and this had been declared that it will be in June that will be releasing the Leviathan. So this as these things. So we had the Leviathan with the Crusade Tyrannic War, that it's an additional, we can say, campaign that is going to be released. The chapter approved mission deck and the decks cards. So here we have the summer that it will be filled with this. In autumn we had the Codex Tyrants and the Codex Prismarine, and it's obvious because you need to have the things to play against, because they are the basic about the armies that you can find in such set box. And I'll try to buy also such codexes. Then we have in the winter, so here we can start about really being quite interesting, because we have the Adeptus Mechanicus that it's going against the Necrons, so a couple of releasing. And the Necrons I'm interested, so I have to spend a lot of money this year, the last half of year, because there will be 3 armies that I play, because the Space Marines I play, the Necrons I play, the Knights I'm quite forced to play them. I think about buying the Codex, but I think that I'll submit to it. The Adeptus Mechanicus I'm not interested about, luckily. So it's really quite interesting, but we are yet known about the spring 2024, that it will be seen the release about the Dark Angels, the Orcs, the Adeptus Custodes, the Tau Empire, and the Chaos Space Marine. So GW will try to really improve and replenish the rules for all the armies quite fast, because we have, even in only a few months, we have yet 9 codexes available, so quite nice. I'm quite curious about the codexes that will be supplement, because the Dark Angel and the Dark Angel, essentially, they are separate. So I'm quite curious about seeing, because or they develop a background, because there has been the comeback of Lionel Johnson, so they will be having a complete change of the rules about how to play such army. Or I'm quite curious about if all the armies will have their separate codex about Space Marine, because otherwise there will be a lot of releasing in the time, instead of being all in the Codex Space Marine with some affixing and particular keywords and so on, units and option usable. So I'm quite curious about seeing such things, because there will be a lot of things available. Sincerely, I think that there is quite a lot to think about, and really, if you are going to think about such set books, really prepare yourself the money, because if the GW will not have problems about delivering and producing the boxes for everyone that wanted to day one, it will be really quite a saving money to have even one of such two factions. Eventually you can buy together with a friend if it's interested about the Space Marine and Tyranids and so on, so that you can split the contents and double the amount of things that you can gain. So there are really quite a lot of things quite worth. Tell me eventually about your opinion, because I think that it can be really quite interesting to improve your comprehension about the miniatures, and if in your opinion it's worth or not, or you are waiting for the normal version to see before the rules about Warhammer 10th edition and the miniatures you're not so interested about, or other things, so that we can have a little discussion. Anyway, from Dynamod it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video, or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.